Let's jump right into this explainer because there is a massive shift happening in business, literally right this second. We've got this habit of talking about artificial intelligence like it's some distant sci-fi future milestone, right? Like it's something companies are going to slowly, carefully roll out over the next 5 years. But scratch that. The reality is completely different. AI adoption is absolutely not a future event. It is an immediate, incredibly pressing governance challenge, and it's happening right under our noses. So let me just ask you point blank. Do you know how your team is using AI today? I mean, right now, at this exact moment? Because here is the giant elephant in the room that leadership teams everywhere are suddenly waking up to. The question isn't whether your employees are using AI tools. They are, period. The actual question is whether you have any idea how it's happening and whether you've got the guardrails in place to manage it.
Okay, let's dive into section 1, the AI already inside, or the unofficial adoption.
Look across basically any industry right now, and you'll find employees eagerly adopting tools like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, and Claude. And let's be clear, they aren't just messing around with these. They are hardwiring AI into their everyday core tasks. We're talking about writing emails, summarizing those brutal hour-long meetings in seconds, generating entire presentations, analyzing giant documents, whipping up reports, and even handling customer interactions. This adoption has spread like wildfire across literally every single department in the modern enterprise. Now, before we hit the panic button, it is absolutely crucial to realize that this isn't malicious. Nobody is trying to sabotage the company. Employees are just trying to survive their workload. They want to work faster, they want to make decisions quicker, and they just want to automate all those tedious, mundane tasks that eat up their day. We really have to validate those intentions because they genuinely just want to be more productive. Which brings us to section 2, defining shadow AI, the hidden reality. So what exactly are we talking about here? Shadow AI happens when employees use artificial intelligence solutions without formal organizational oversight, without approved governance frameworks, and without clear accountability mechanisms. And I really want to hit hard on that last part. This entire phenomenon is happening totally off the books. If a company hasn't laid down clear rules of the road, employees just bypass the company altogether. And wow, does this create a massive disconnect? On one side, you've got these totally harmless employee intentions. They just want efficiency, productivity, and simpler workflows. But on the flip side, the organizational reality is just a giant vacuum. Zero formal oversight. It's outside all governance structures, completely unapproved. It's your classic showdown between grassroots innovation and top-down control. Because of this gap, leadership is basically flying blind. They are missing visibility on almost every critical front. They don't know which tools are actually being used. They don't know what sensitive corporate data is being copy-pasted into these external models. No one knows who is accountable, how the AI's answers are being double-checked, or what systemic risks are brewing. If you are a business leader, those blind spots should definitely keep you up at night. All right, moving to section 3, the 4 hidden risks, or the cost of invisibility. What's really interesting about this is how it takes those abstract blind spots and turns them into very real business liabilities. Let's walk through the 4 main ones. First up, data exposure. You've got employees who might accidentally upload highly confidential internal business data straight into external AI systems. Yikes. Second, compliance risk. If you're in a regulated space, using unvetted AI without proper controls is basically begging for legal and regulatory trouble. Third, operational inconsistency. Marketing uses one tool, finance uses a different one, HR uses another, and suddenly your practices and outputs are completely all over the map. And finally, strategic risk. You end up pouring money into these totally fragmented, disjointed AI projects that do absolutely nothing to support the actual broader goals of the business.
Section 4, the digital transformation parallel, repeating history.
Now, if this kind of chaos sounds a little familiar to you, well, it's because history loves a rerun. Think back to the early days of cloud computing, right? Phase 1, rapid, totally ungoverned technology adoption happens everywhere. Phase 2, absolute chaos hits, which painfully exposes the desperate need for cybersecurity and access controls. And finally, Phase 3, after the damage is done, organizations finally establish the necessary governance, cloud strategies, and ownership models. With AI today, we are currently stuck right smack in the middle of Phase 1 and Phase 2. So here is the absolute most critical takeaway. The organizations that actually win in the AI era, it won't necessarily be the ones who adopted AI the fastest. No way. It's going to be the ones that established governance first. Going fast without a steering wheel is just a fast track to disaster. Control and strategy have to come before the big rollout.
Let's look at how to do that in Section 5, Governance Before Adoption, the Path Forward.
Taking back control really comes down to answering a rapid-fire list of fundamental governance questions. Who actually owns AI in your company? Which specific tools are explicitly approved? Exactly what data can be fed into them? How on earth do we validate the outputs to make sure they're right? What's the overarching governance framework guiding all this? And how are we managing the risks? Listen, if your company can't answer these yet, you just aren't ready to scale AI responsibly.
Those questions we just fired off, they aren't IT support questions. They're business governance questions. And that requires a massive paradigm shift. Artificial intelligence is not exclusively a technology initiative. We have to stop treating it like just another software deployment or an IT ticket. It is a full-blown organizational transformation challenge that needs cross-team strategy and serious, high-level leadership. The research from Executive Founders really hits the nail on the head here. They state, at Executive Founders, we believe the real challenge is not how organizations use AI. The real challenge is how organizations implement, govern, and scale AI responsibly and sustainably. That basically sums up the whole shebang. Getting people to use it, that's easy. Governing it so it actually drives long-term sustainable value, that is the true test of leadership.
We have unpacked a ton in this explainer today, haven't we? From the super well-intentioned, quiet adoption of tools like ChatGPT by your workforce, all the way to the massive structural risks of leaving that usage totally unchecked. So, I want to leave you with one final provocative question to think about as you evaluate your own company's readiness. Is your organization actively governing its AI transformation, or is shadow AI currently governing you? Thanks for tuning in, and here's hoping this helps you bring your own organization's AI usage out of the shadows.